Retaliation Resale by Sean, Part 2.
Please like, subscribe, and all that. So, all right, Linda's going to do her magic. She's going to show the objects, but this is for April, the weeks the 5th through the 11th and the 12th through the 18th. And then I'll do another video like this probably a few days from now and kind of get a little more caught up. But I wanted to do April because April had some really good sales. So I will start it off with this book I sold, Paris, Texas. And Paris, Texas is a film by Wim Wenders, who did Wings of Desire. It was all in German, except for a small part by Peter Falk, which most of you know from Columbo. He spoke in English. And basically, they remade it, City of Angels with Meg Ryan and Nicolas Cage. Basically, the main character is an angel, falls in love with a mortal, can't be seen. He can become human, hang out with us earthlings, and basically turn into a human and die like the rest of us. In the classic version, the woman that the angel falls in love with is actually a trapeze artist. It's in black and white. It's very sort of stark, but it's also very beautiful. The American version is it's a little more Hollywood. But anyway, this book it has the script and then a bunch of stills from the movie. And this book came from a friend of Linda's who had, I think, a family member that was getting rid of a bunch of books. So I didn't think much of it. I scanned it. I looked at it. The book sold for $225. There was one other copy on eBay. This is stuff that sold on eBay. And I sold it. I saw that it was like $175, but they had pictures and the binding is split. You open up the book and you can see that much of the binding, and it was in just horrible shape. And I saw that it sold a few copies, but it was selling in that dollar amount. I listed it and sold in a few weeks, and I was like, whoa. Well, I was blown away. I had no idea, but I guess this is a limited pressing. I think it came from Europe possibly, and there aren't a lot of copies in America. And if you're a fan of Paris, Texas, the movie, it might be something that you would like. Now, the other thing that I sold a few days later was James Strong, the Concordance. And before I started selling books, I had no idea what a concordance is. But basically, a concordance is a giant index for the Bible. So if you want to look up where Dorcas, the character Dorcas, appears in the Bible, you can look up Dorcas and it'll tell you. So you want to know about Cain and Abel, you look it up in the concordance. Concordances are usually really thick. This one was, I think, the 14th or 15th printing. Originally, it was published in the late 1800s, but this version was from 1930. And this one sold for $125 plus shipping. Also, on that day was really busy. I had a United States Army and World War II book. This book was, I think I'd showed it before, a thick book, but like a 1/4-inch section in the back was nothing but maps. So, and I've seen the series, and the series has like a lot of books. It's green binding. I think there's 30, 40 books in the series. I've sold a few books from the series before. This one sold for $30 plus shipping. So let me go back. The Paris, Texas book, I sold it for $225 plus shipping. My profit was $180, $170. The James Strong Concordance sold it for $125 plus shipping. I made $102.97. The U.S. Army and World War II book sold for $30 plus shipping, and I made $22.69. The next thing that sold that day was Mutt's book lot, and Mutt's is a cartoon book about dogs. I had books 1 through 10. I think there's something like 15 or so books in the series. I sold the set for $21 plus shipping, and my profit was $15.99. This is a good example of books that you can sell on eBay. Individually, there's probably no market on eBay. If you tried to sell volume 1, you might have to sell it for something like $5 and free shipping, and make $1. If there's any profit on Amazon, some of the books might be $2 or $3 and the rest aren't. But if you take them all together as a set and you have 1 through 10, and I had these for probably a few months, but they sold for $21 for the right person, the person looking for Mutts. I made $15.99 profit. Individually, they're not going to make anywhere near that amount. If you sold them individually, you'd probably lose money. But together as a lot, you can make money.
Thank you. Goodbye.